Hey guys, Vertigo was just updated where they added a doorway from elevator onto side hall, a catwalk onto the side of a site, and of course messed up how my Doppler looks. But anyways, let's just get into how this is going to affect the gameplay, some new util you can throw, as well as some new tactics or plays you can make during the games. Anyways, let's just get right into it. Like I mentioned, with these new doorway, the CTs can reach side hall much faster, and they also can throw this ramp smoke much faster, meaning they can take the fight to the Ts significantly more aggressively. So what do we do as Ts to counteract this? Well, we're going to revisit an old smoke. We're going to do this crane smoke. This will actually smoke off side hall from T-spawn. What you're going to do is just aim where these two support beams, or three, I guess, interact with this much larger beam of the crane and do a jump throw. This is just going to land right at the top of side hall. And what it will look like is if the CTs want to peek and fight the Ts down at the bottom of the ramp, they're going to have to push through this, meaning you're going to have a much better time with the rest of your team fighting this player. Along with that, you can just throw in anti-ramp molly smoke that's just going to bounce off the wall here, and this will just give you a large smoke wall that will make your fights a lot easier and give you some soft cover. As we move forward, the old smokes to take site, the left and right smokes, are still very viable, like this, and then like this. However, we have to deal with this new angle right here, this doorway. So how do we do that? Well, there's actually a smoke we can throw from the same spot where we threw the left side smoke. Go into this corner and aim anywhere above this top wire along the side of the red tarp and just left and right click throw. Very forgiving, as you see. Throw it right there, and this will block off anybody's view inside. Say instead of smoking off this doorway, your team actually wants to take the fight to the players that are holding very strong angles like this right here, or this one right here, or even as far back as mid. And these are very strong angles for CTs as they are left shoulder peaks by the Ts, meaning that they are at a disadvantage because the player camera is on the right side of your character. What we can do to turn the tide and even get a free kill perhaps is by smoking off this doorway right here and by throwing a flash through this window. Now, we're going to do that by coming to this sandbag right in the corner and looking through this window. We'll be throwing a smoke and a flash, as I mentioned before, at this top part right up here. So we're looking for the lighter section, this top vent. Just looking to this right side of the pillar here. And we are doing a simple left click throw. That's going to land right in the doorway and block off mid's view. Right after we've thrown that smoke, we are going to just look up about a millimeter from this light section to this dark section and throw a flash. This will travel right through the window and blind anybody that is inside of elevator at an angle like this. Very hard to dodge, as you can see, or even holding an angle like this. As a CT, holding onto side hall and elevator have become significantly more important, as they have also removed this doorway from elevator to hell, meaning if you lose the bomb site, there is now only one way to retake the site, and that is through hell, which is not a very fun fight. So, what can you do as a CT to prevent you losing elevator? Well, there's a couple of things you can do. What I like to do is just come and play an aggressive angle like this, then once you pop the first T in the head as he's pushing, fall back to an angle like this. Now, normally this would be a very poor angle as you're just waiting for the T to wide swing on you and just stab you in the head. However, what we can do is delay them by throwing a Molotov and a flashbang. This Molotov, we're going to aim right at this line on the center block, and it's going to pop and prevent anyone from pushing you, as well as giving your guys on site more time to react, get into a better position, or help you out with the fight. Using the same lineup, we're also going to throw a very nasty flash that can give the Ts almost zero time to react, and from their perspective, it looks like this, which is very hard to dodge. So, this should allow you to quickly swing the angle again, get into a better position, and kill anyone that's blind here, or if you had a teammate that was hiding at this angle right here, you can just wait for the flash and peek like that, which should result in an easy kill. Now, as Ts, when we're entering the A bomb site, we're going to have a ton of new angles to deal with, notably this pillar right here, this one right here, as well as a cheeky little crouch angle right here. and this new boost where you can actually look over white box and peek into side hall here. This is a very nasty and very difficult to deal with boost. You can see you're peeking headshot like this, and then you're peeking like that. They actually can see you first. Not going to be a fun time for you. And they can even peek down onto ramp from this angle too, as you can see right there. Luckily for you guys, I have already found some nice util sets you can use to clear the CTs out of these angles, and they are also pretty easy to throw. So to clear this first pillar, we're just going to simply look at it, and line up a molly, and just throw it right at the bottom part of this first little brackets. If you throw it any higher, it's just going to go off the map. And this will just make the player have to rotate out of this angle, which you should be able to just swing and catch them off guard. Now, to deal with this angle right here is a little more difficult, just because if you throw a smoke and it lands something like right around here, or even about clear out wide, the CTs are actually going to be able to phase the smoke and just make a play on you late, which is about the last thing you want to happen. They can even phase onto the bomb site and get behind the cover here. So to avoid that, we're going to have to throw a Molotov instead. And it's going to be from the same sandbag we used earlier. So what we're doing is just coming onto the left side this time, finding this cinder block wall and aiming between the two top cinder blocks where they meet. Aim a little bit to the right about there, and just simply Molotov. Now this will pick out both the players that are hiding on the pillar, as well as the player that is hiding at an angle like this. It'll just force him to fall back, and you should either hear him burning, or you should hear him on the steps. To deal with this boost angle right here, what we're going to do is go back to this headshot smoke I showed earlier in the video. Just line up on this left side of the shadow right here. Aim at the top corner of this building. Do a left click throw. Now, this smoke is going to actually land on top of headshot and pillow up and prevent any CTs from seeing into side hall. If you throw the regular smoke by just running up ramp and throwing it off this white wall, the CTs will actually be able to look over the top of it as it doesn't billow high enough. But to prevent that from happening and to minimize mistakes, just throw this simple one I showed earlier. If instead you want to use a Molotov, just aim towards the pillar right here and do a run throw. Now this will land right in the middle. The plume will block off the CT's view, meaning they can't see over. And then it will also just have the added benefit of mauling off a player headshot. As a T, if you're entering the site without a smoke, make sure to pay special attention to the bottom of hell, and that is just because of how they have buffed this angle here. With the new extension, there's a lot more playability, meaning you can hold an angle like this, and hold the bottom ramp like that, or even peek side hall. So to avoid a clip being hit on you, just come down to ramp, grab your Molotov, find this little window right here, and aim towards the left of it, and just do a running throw, and that will land right on the corner here, flushing the CT out. Onto the CT side, what can we do with these new positions to prevent the Ts from executing on us and taking space? I'm going to show you a few plays that you can do with these new positions, either by yourself or with a teammate, that will hopefully win you some rounds. So this first one's going to be a duo play, and it's involving this first pillar here and the crane. So you're going to have one player jump up on right here and just hold this sandbag boost, waiting for a player to peek him, which should result in an easy headshot as you're already pre-firing him. And then you're going to have the second player right here preparing to wide swing right after he does that. So what's going to happen is the first player is going to get the kill. The Ts are going to try to swing him at this angle here and try to get the trade frag. And that's when you're also swinging them here, trying to catch them off guard, which hopefully will result in 2 easy kills from your team and a round win. For this next one, say you're playing a position like this where you're taking contact on the guy's ramp. Once that happens, what you can do is just drop a smoke out in front of you like this and play around it. Like I mentioned earlier, you can just kind of, take these cheeky little smoke angles. You try to swing out, you swing this way, you fall back to the site here and take the fight on the guy's side hall, or even sneak onto site. There's also the option of just running back on the catwalk and living to fight another day. There's a lot of creativity you can do with this smoke, and it really lends itself to opportunistic players. If you want to play an angle like this one behind white box onto catwalk, try to crouch when you do it and get the head glitch, and that is just because of the way T's are going to clear sight. If we're viewing ramp clearing from the T's perspective, when the bot is standing up, we can, kind of isolate this duel against him, and you won't be seen from headshot. However, if he's crouched, you have to push up the angle farther to see him, and by that time you're exposed to heaven. If you try to take the heaven duel instead, you can be seen from the crouched position. This should result in a trade at the minimum. Now, if you want to play these boost positions, make sure your teammates are actually on top of this yellow barrier. And that is because if you just go onto the edge of the grating and then look over, you can't actually see anything over the top. However, if you're on the yellow lining, you can kind of look over into side hall or down into ramp at this position. And you can also play from different spots all along this back catwalk, and should give you a ton of different angles you can work with. Staying alive on A site is pretty important, as you can pretty effectively delay or even stop the T's from planting the bomb. As well as with the new rotations and doorways, it's pretty hard for you to support your teammates when you're in heaven or hell and they're in elevator. So for new players, the best way to delay or stop the plant is just by coming into this back corner over here, grabbing a Molotov or a frag, looking to the left and above of this yellow tarp, and lobbing them.
Fire.
This should do a ton of damage to the planter and anyone else on site, and hopefully delay long enough for your teammates to make a play. There is also a way you can throw a retake smoke in the site, and that is just by launching a smoke just right above this white spot on this bottom railing. Just go up the next railing and throw it, and that will give you a nice cheeky smoke like that. And that's all I have for you guys today. If you learned anything new, please like and subscribe, and comment what topic you would like to see next. Also, check out my Twitch. I stream most weekday mornings, and I'm trying to hit affiliate, so thank you.